Well, today we have the big chance with Nils Finkeisen to compare a few classic metal amps. Here at number one we have the choice of a few classics, and you brought some of your favorite pedals with you.
Yeah, well, we have an original 1980 tube screamer, A-board JRC ship, the original 1433 first batch, and the 14 Zool. My favorite delay, but that's
Not used at the moment.
Not used at the moment, not important.
Yeah.
Just to show how the real deal tube screamer and the real deal 1433 booster would compare to the boost inside the AMP1 IRIDIUM.
Yeah, we do have an A/B switching system here, so we can simply switch from this one to this one, and who knows which one it is. You want to play something and you can guess?
I can.
Okay.
But I don't want to. The last one is the rectifier, but it's tough. It's tough.
Which one is this one? Play again.
IRIDIUM.
That's a rectifier. Okay, you're right. Nice.
It's very, very close.
Yeah.
They only differ slightly bit in the bass department.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Are we using any of the pedals at the moment, or is this
Only the gate.
Yeah, it's only the gate.
But for both.
For both. Yeah, this is in front of both amps. Okay, you want to boost anything with?
Yeah, if I was a rectifier player, and I don't love these amps actually. I respect what they built here, but it's not my personal preference. If I was a rectifier player, and there are many guys like me who would say, well, let's try a tube screamer, let's try a Fortin boost to make it tight because of those annoying bass frequencies. They are gone. Let's
Closer.
The fun is, tube screamer off.
And now
Tube screamer on. So, well, in my opinion, the rectifier sounds better with the tube screamer on, and the BluGuitar M1 IRIDIUM in this setting doesn't even need a tube screamer.
Yeah. Yeah,
because it's tighter.
Yeah, it's tighter. It is like the tube screamer does the job of getting a little roll off in the low end. Yeah. And this is already kind of built into the preamp of the IRIDIUM. Yeah. And of course, when Mesa designed the rectifier, the world was different, because I don't think that the amp was planned to be used in that style.
I think they did plan it, but they did some misconceptions in the gain staging.
Yeah.
They have been building Mark II C++, Mark III, and Mark IV before they started to build the single and dual rectifiers.
Right.
And they have had it right for the metalhead, for the Lamb of God, Dream Theater, whatever technical metal guy. They have had one product that was able to be super, super tight. But they wanted to do something else. And this became the sound of 90s rock guitar, of modern rock,
yeah.
and American rock. Creed, Alter Bridge.
Yeah.
The Canadian guys. Yeah, well, it's a good amp, but if I would play it, I would play it with a tube screamer anyway. And that device, well, you don't need a tube screamer.
Yeah. What's the difference from the tube screamer to the 14?
The 33 is more or less just a treble boost. It doesn't color your sound, it doesn't add much of hiss and noise. It's not really compressing. It cuts your signal below 300 hertz.
Wow.
Which means it's like super, super thin. And it's boosting some mid-range above 300. Let's compare it.
Yeah.
It works wonders with this amp.
Yeah, I mean, this amp is a bit woolly in the low end, and with this 1433, you have the aggression, the bite, the brutality. for metal.
The thing with the Fortin is it has just one setting. It's like 2 o'clock, plus minus 5 minutes. You can ask everybody who's using this pedal. It's always like the 2 o'clock position here, above the 3. It's always the same.
Well,
if you reduce gain, it doesn't work. If you put in more, you've got your low end again.
Yeah.
It's still starting to fart out on the front end.
Yeah. Well, you can tape it there then.
It's a one-trick pony, and well, it does one trick very, very well. But compare it, rectifier with a Fortin. Look. You know what?
Yeah.
Just take the fourth channel. It's way tighter.
You want that?
I don't want to clone the rectifier here.
Yeah.
But ready?
Yeah.
Comparison?
Yeah. It's super tight. It's doing that job. Cool.
So if you like the 33 sounds, the really Meshuggah, modern metal janty stuff,
try the fourth channel here.
That's definitely
the modern channel.
It's not to my liking, but it is what you would need if you like the Fortin pedal in front of everything, or a 5150 with a Fortin pedal or a rectifier. To my liking in that amp is one thing, and that's I try to make the rectifier sound a little more like what I like in the third channel of the Iridium. Well, let's compare this. That's very.
What's your setting here? I have not checked any of your settings.
Okay. The thing is, I play guitars with Kloppmann humbuckers, but I love single coils for metal, and I usually play something like third channel boost on mid to 7-ish.
Okay, this is a total difference. I was, by the way, just for the guys to know where the settings were at the moment, bass only on 2, mids on 3.5, and treble on 5. This came from the classic channel when we had the first thing comparing with the tone of the classic all the way up.
Yep.
Weird setting.
Yep.
Whatever, but this seems to be similar to that in the A-B comparison you could hear. So now your setting.
With single coils for modern metal, it does work. Third channel boost on.
Third channel means the modern or the classic?
The classic.
The classic, yeah.
Boost on bass.
How much?
Full on.
Full, okay, yeah.
Bass to 5, middle to about 7. Treble about 5 again.
Okay,
5 to 6.
got that. Maybe
and then
the level is now too high. Yeah.
And then we need the tone control on the side to reduce a little bit of the chirpiness and treble.
Which means counterclockwise?
Yeah, counterclockwise.
Okay, okay.
And that's way more mid-rangey than what we have with a rectifier and a tube screamer or a Fortin.
Yeah.
And it sits way better in the mix. We can open the sound with a treble, if you ask me, but it's just a slight bit. Yeah. For me, that's one of the most pragmatic, mid-rangey, really honky and nasal setting. But if you have a playback with synthesizers, if you have a second guitar player, if you have a bass player, a double kick drum, snare, cymbals, actually you don't have that much space in the mix. And if you want to be heard, try something like super mid-rangey and then raise the volume and then open it. So we could make this easily, not that mid-rangey, or open it in the bass department.
Simply you play and I turn the knob of the classic. So for me, the thing is, you know, it's very easy. You change the broadness of the tone, and this depends on how much room you have in the band.
Definitely.
Yeah. And this is all on one knob here. So it kind of opens the sound if you need that or if you want that, if you can afford it. If not, go counterclockwise, like where we started, which definitely works.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because you can raise volume afterwards.
Yeah.
It sounds like tinny and small, but then you make yourself louder.
And then it's
brutal.
Like,
bam.
Then it's brutal, yeah.
And that's what is very, very difficult. So a Telecaster on a rectifier without a boost, without a mid-range boost, that would be not so funny, actually. Mm-hmm. So that wouldn't work for my style of playing with this guitar.
Yeah, I think that's the new dual rectifier with pedals compared to the Iridium. And we got a few more amps here to check out.
Oh yes, we've got a bunch of amplifiers behind you.
Okay, we make a quick changeover and then we check the next amp. Our next candidate is a REV amp, and it's the Generator 740. It's the little brother of the Generator P, which is the big brother, which I like a lot, especially the purple channel. But anyway, this is the one in the house, and this is what we can compare it to now.
I have never played the big one, but I did my best to make this sound
as good as possible.
Good as possible for my ears. Let's see.
So we can.
Well, I couldn't tell which amp is which. I could tell which one I like better. One. Difficult. Again, the one. Second. Second one is a little more organic. The first one is way tighter, way faster in the attack.
Yeah.
I like the first one better.
Yeah, the first one is the AMP1, and I'm using the the vintage channel this time. Different channel.
Even the mellow vintage channel is tighter.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this when I heard this amp, I thought, yeah, it has this more vintagey approach, which is not as tight as the other amps we compared it to. So I thought, let's go for the vintage channel. And the rest is, there's slightly difference here and there. This has a different mid-range to my ears. To my ears, it's a bit boxy, to be honest. I think this one is a bit more defined. It has a certain, here's my edge, and maybe that's what you like.
What I don't like about that voicing, but I couldn't get rid of it, it's actually boxy. It's a little, I know the REVV G3 pedal, the purple one. I own one. I love it. It's great.
It's great.
I know the red channel pedal. It's pretty cool as well. But I think both pedals are sounding better than this amplifier. And I hope that the 120 is as good as you say.
Yeah. But I'm honest. I have to say that this vintage channel is a little bit inspired by the big brother of this one, which is kind of from the same guys, and it is that sound, but I think it's a bit better. The purple channel of the 120 is a glorious tone.
But the thing is, this is the old version of the amplifier.
Maybe they have a better one now.
And I think they had a good purpose why they did. So, well, maybe the new one sounds a little tighter. I don't know.
Whatever. So this was the quick one here. And the settings, just for reference, easy. Gain on 10. And then it was the bass on 8, the mids on 7, and the treble on 5. And here we go. It's a pretty similar sound, and they both have their character. Yeah, check out some more amps. Yeah, next amp, a Fryette from Stephen Fryette, our good friend from the USA, Deliverance.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my 2-3 favorite amps ever. That thing is the mighty Deliverance 62. The 60 is like half a power amplifier of the 120. It's a slightly more upper mid-rangey amp. It has all the good Marshall qualities of a super lead. It has all the good qualities of a super bass, and it has a gain of a rectifier, actually.
Yeah.
So he's getting thing really on point. It is tight, it has bass, it is fast, and it is very predictable, but very unforgiving.
Yeah, this is what you want.
Yep.
And now we have the Iridium. You play, I switch.
Okay. The very last one was the Fryette, but I couldn't hear it until I did the overtone thing.
Yeah. Okay.
It was the only discipline where I could hear that the very last tiny bit was the Fryette. Am I right?
Actually, no. see, I didn't. If you're talking about the very last bit.
Very last bit, yeah. Then I was wrong.
No, the very last one was.
Then you fooled me.
Yeah. But anyway, I think they're pretty close.
It's extremely close.
Yeah. And what I can comment on, I mean, this is you playing this kind of fast thing, and now I'm free to do whatever the sound matching. You don't fool yourself, because it's like you are only the player and you feel it and you can only hear it. But yeah, maybe.
So okay, this is my favorite setting in the amplifier.
Yeah.
If it comes to Fryette amps, I would recommend to try it not at 12 o'clock, like at noon every single poti, but at like at 3 o'clock.
3 is the setting for this amp.
That's the starting point, and then you do reduce bass and depth and increase presence and gain and stuff. But to capture this sound, what's the setting on the AMP1? That's interesting for me now.
Yeah, okay. It's a pretty standard setting, actually. We are using the classic channel. I'm having the classic tone in the middle. I'm using full gain on 10. I have the boost on, also maxed. So tons of gain, but I think this is also about gain. And now the post EQ is simple. Treble is on 5 in the middle, middle is on 5 in the middle, and the bass is on 8. So I give it a little bit extra oomph, and that's it.
8, 5, 5. Everything else maxed more or less.
Yeah. And the gain is maxed, and the tone of the classic channel is in the middle.
12 o'clock.
Yeah. That's the setting.
Good to know for me, because I love that sound.
Yeah.
It's not the everyday sound. You can't play this sound on every record or on every band. It's more like what I like to play in my private time.
Yeah, sure.
Noodling around.
Yeah, and Steve Fryette always has been on the forefront of modern amps. I know Steve for probably 20 years already. We are friends. We talk about things behind the scenes, and yeah, he's a very, very nice guy in the industry. And we all know this industry is very small. So he always, and he has the what's the power stage? The thing that
I think it's called Fryette Power Station 2.
Station.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of a dummy load kind of thing, and a tube amp that brings back the volume. So you can have your traditional tube amp cranked, then loaded into this power stage, and then you can tweak the sound, just the volume of your cranked amp at any volume. And that's a very, very unique product, which I also highly respect.
I haven't double-checked this product yet, but my concern is he's doing it with 6L6, and what I like in his amps is the KT88 stuff.
KT88,
Yeah.
because they are more punchy?
I don't know what is happening here. I usually hate those tubes, but with his circuit, it's a great tube.
Yeah. The KT88s I know from the Marshall major amps. You know, Richie Blackmore, me, the old school guy. Richie was playing those 200-watt Marshalls, and to me, they have a certain unforgiveness.
Yeah. Again, what I told you about this amp, it's unforgiving.
Yeah. So they are cleaner than other tubes in a way, but they also have a warmth. So I'm not saying they are clean and sterile. They are just clean and punchy, but not sterile. So great tubes. So this is KT88.
Yeah, that's two of them in the 120. It's four of them.
Sure.
And they only differ in the power amplifier and the phase inverter. I don't know why he's tweaking the phase inverter in the 60, but I think it's a 12AX7 in the 60 and a 12AT7 in the 120.
I don't know why, but hey, he knows what he's doing, and
definitely he does.
Yeah, and it sounds killer.
Fun fact about his amps and his designs: I am the first guy who's opening the amp, pulling preamp tubes, and fiddling around and tube rolling with vintage Mallards, RFTs from the 70s, whatever, the really expensive stuff. I have never found new old stock or old stock preamp tubes that fit the amp better than what Steven is putting into his amplifiers.
Yeah, I mean,
he knows what he does.
Yeah, he's a nerd, as we are, and therefore we talk. Because, we are on the same level, and we all, you know, as I said, we are a small industry, and he definitely knows what he's doing, and he does care.
But so, well, as you are capturing the Fryette like 99%, or even the product sounds slightly better even, I don't know. I liked it better in that case, and I was like, okay, that must be the Fryette. So that explains why I love to play with this. Because it can sound pretty similar.
Yeah, we have a few options here, but hey, we have more amps. Our next candidate is a beautiful JCM800 from Marshall, modded by our dear friend Manfred Reckmeyer. I personally own a Manfred Reckmeyer modded vintage Marshall. Maybe some of you guys have seen that in the Academy of Tone. The one that has adjustable low cut and an extra boost. This amp here, what kind of modifications do you know of is on this one?
I can't really tell you what he did, but I know that the goal was to make a JCM800 quieter usable. So half the power, it was a 100 watts version, they reduced it to 50 watts, slightly upped the gain in the input. They did something with a negative feedback, I guess, with the compression. So it's not super extremely loud and still sounds good.
Yeah, so it sounds like a very open, cranked, in-your-face JCM800, and even at lower volumes, if that's the case. Okay, and I have the Iridium on the other side. Let's play some music and switch A/B.
Oh, the noise gate. Couldn't tell which amp is which amp. No way.
Actually, in the middle of the set, I was closing my eyes and I was thinking, do I hear a difference? Maybe, maybe not.
I can't.
It's actually pretty close. I wasn't expecting that one.
It is close. They are not. That was not exactly the same sound, but it's so close I couldn't recognize if it was the Marshall or the AMP1.
Yeah,
no chance. No chance.
Yeah. Okay, for the guys, what was the setting here? Well, the vintage channel with no boost and the gain on 8. And here comes the bass on 10, the middles on 4.5 or 4.25, whatever. Okay, the mids are very sensitive. And the treble almost on 5, like 4.5 again, but more towards the 5, and that's it. It's just more bass than a standard setting, and that's it.
Well, one thing about old Marshalls is how they can react and play with those tube screamers.
Okay.
Shouldn't we double check what happens if we activate the tube screamer, and let's see what happens here. You switch around the amps and the tube screamer on off. I don't know. Do it what?
Okay,
I'll do it blind.
Here is.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
Let's activate the tube screamer and the noise gate, and then you switch the amps. Nope.
Well,
still super similar.
Yeah. Well, and I've been back and forth, back and forth. Sometimes I noticed with the Marshall there was a slight, very high fizzy feedback in the ultra high end. Maybe because you were closer to the amp.
Yeah, I'm very, very close with the signal coil to the output transformer.
But besides that, nothing really big.
I could neither hear a big difference, and the point is I couldn't feel a big difference. The crazy thing is you want your, like guitarists want to feel the tone. They at least imagine that they feel what they play. And even in a single note run or sweep arpeggio or whatever,
there's not a real big difference. There's not
make a difference.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, that's the good thing about A/B blind testing. Nobody knows what's the result, and I'm impressed too because I really admire the work of Manfred Reckmeyer. He knows what he's doing, and I know him for maybe 30 years.
It is an exceptionally good Marshall.
Yeah.
I love what he did here.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, there's more to come.
But that's it for today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it for today. See you. Bye-bye.